Another Fox News alert. The American embassy in Jerusalem issuing a security warning for U.S. citizens there, as Israel is reportedly expecting a direct, imminent attack by Iran that could come within the next 48 hours. Iran has publicly threatened retaliation for the IDF strike in Syria last week that took out a couple of their military commanders. But sources in Tehran tell the Wall Street Journal that no final plan attack has been made yet. How do we make sense of this? Let's ask Fox News senior strategic analyst, retired four-star General Jack Keane. General, how quick could this attack happen, and what would it look like, do you think, if it does?
Well, it could have happened already, obviously. I mean, they have the means to do that. I think they're very much enjoying the psychological impact that this is having, not only on Israel, but the world writ large, and spinning up the United States. I think we're taking the precautions we should be taking, to protect their own people, and certainly Israel is doing that. I mean, Iran has their finger on the trigger here. This much we do know. I mean, Iran doesn't want any escalation of this that would lead to a war with Israel or the United States. And that has been the fact from the beginning of the war in Gaza, when they operationalized all of their proxies to join in that effort that Hamas started. And this administration has never recognized that Iran's vulnerability is that they do not want war with the United States or Israel. And that is why we have advocated from the outset, if you want to shut down these proxies, take out the IRGC assets in Iran, because Iran does not want to escalate. You can use that as leverage against them. They have a weak Air Force. They have a weak Navy. They've got a lot of troops under arms, but they're not particularly well trained, nor are they particularly well equipped. What they do have is a lot of offensive missiles and drones. Iran knows that war with them would destroy their regime economically, and also they would likely lose it. So the leverage has always been on the side of Israel, the United States, and the West, but we absolutely refuse to use it. Will an attack come? Yes. They can't avoid the international publicity surrounding the taking down of the IRGC headquarters in Syria. That's just the reality. But it'll be a measured response, and they don't want escalation as a result of it.
But if it's a direct hit, that would be unique. They only use the Houthi rebels, Hezbollah, Hamas, number one. And number two is, I saw Benjamin Netanyahu in front of an F-16 yesterday and said, if they hurt us, we're going to hit right back at them. So they know if they hit, they're going to get hit right back. So Israel is capable of hitting inside Iran. They know they're behind all this, correct?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about it. And all the covert successful operations that Israel has done, killing nuclear scientists, military leaders inside Iran, blowing up the centrifuges in one of their major nuclear enterprise sites at Natanz in 2020. Iran never responded to any of that. And that's right. The reality of this. They've always been very measured when they're dealing with Israel, and they're likely to be here. They don't have much choice. They're going to have to do something in terms of an attack. The timing of it, and any of us can speculate that when that's going to happen. But I'm sure they like the leverage they're getting out of the psychological warfare that's happening in their favor right now.
Famously, Israel ignored Ronald Reagan. They blew up the nuclear plant in Iraq. Then they did not get our cooperation. They blew up the Syrian nuclear plant. And now we told them not to go into Rafah. Benjamin Netanyahu says, I have to go in there. There's 2 battalions there. Do you think he's going to go in? And would he be better off going sooner than later?
Well, I think he's going to go in when he's able to deal with the civilian population. He knows full well that he can't conduct that operation with all of those people there, so that has to move, and that's going to take some time. I mean, I find it really quite appalling that when you listen to what the president said, he no longer agrees with any of Israel's war aims. They have 2. One is to get back the hostages, rescue them, or put military pressure on Hamas so that they would negotiate a release of the hostages. President Biden said go to an immediate ceasefire. That means a unilateral ceasefire without conditions, and then begin the negotiations with Hamas, no longer agreeing with military pressure on Hamas. Then the second departure deals with Rafah itself. The war aim there is destroy Hamas militarily, its effectiveness, and politically, so they cannot conduct another attack again. And the president has pulled away from that. And what he's accepting then is that the fighting battalions in Gaza will remain intact, as well as the leaders. And that means reattack at some point again. And nobody in Israel agrees with that whatsoever. That is absolutely appalling. This is our closest ally in the region, and we don't agree with their war aims now.
General, it's unbelievable.
It's stunning where we are.
And Benjamin Netanyahu, I don't want to get into politics, but the whole country backs him going into Rafah. There's no fracture there. The only problem is this president wants to win Minnesota and Michigan, in my view. General, thanks so much. Pick up the Institute Study of War if you want to stay right up to date on what's happening in all these conflict areas. Thanks, General. Have a great weekend.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.